Welcome to the video. I'm the Everyday Engineer, and today we will be learning how to build this really cool light-up stand for your Lego Saturn V. First, let's talk features. This features full RGB light control, so you can make the color whatever you like, just like this. A nice blue, a little bit different blue, a teal, even a purple. And if that's not cool enough, this rocket comes off just like that. It is not glued or fastened to the stand at all. You just plop it down on the stand, goes in, and it's fairly stable. These are the main components that you see in front of you. We have a LED light controller with the remote and the controller on the left. We have the LED light strips themselves in the middle. And then we have the 3D printed stand, which I will link to the file so you can print them out yourself. The stand was printed with PLA at a 0.3 layer height. This is because we don't care about detail. You can find the STL file for the stand on my printables page, link in the description below. For this build, I used LED light strips. Now, they can be a little confusing because there are lots of variations and lots of variants of LED strips, but I made it very simple for you guys. So I have these products linked in the description, so this is a separate deal. It's a reel of LED light strips, it's usually how they come. And I have the LED light controller, and the controller comes with the remote. So these are two products on Amazon, and I have a link to them in the description. Alright, so the basics, let's see. So these are 3-pin LED light strips. These are 3-pin LED light strips. So you have a ground, you have a 5-volt, and you have basically a signal, right? So you have 3 wires coming out of there and 3 wires going into the controller. Some LED light strips are 4 wire, they even go up, I believe, to 6. So you gotta make sure that when you buy your LED light strip, it matches the number of connections as your controller. Very important. Anyways, as you can see, this is a pretty high density LED light strip. I think that works best with the stand because you don't want to be able to see the individual lights and dark spots in between. So this makes it so it's very continuous light coming from the cotton balls instead of patches of light, which would not be very good, right? So anyways, all right, so when you get your LED light strip and your controller, you're gonna have, I already cut mine, but you're gonna have an end pre-put on there for you. And this end is a male end, and you're gonna have a female end on your controller. You're just going to snap that in there, just like this. Other way, boom, like that. And literally they are done. You just plug it in to a wall outlet. You plug it into a wall outlet like that, and they work, right? The remote's already connected, no need to worry about that. You can already change colors, stuff like that. However, that's if you buy it like this. If it does not come with an end, you're gonna have to buy some of these ends separately. I have exposed wires just like this. You're just gonna have to basically, you have your ground, you have your 5-volt, and you have your DIN pin, so your green. You're just gonna put it like this and solder those onto the little tabs right there. So when it comes to cutting this, you'll see in the next step, I will string this out and wrap it around this guy here. But when you want to cut these, it's very simple. You just take some scissors or some wire cutters, and you're just going to cut along these strips here. You see these brass strips? You're just going to cut them right along there. See, that's what I did here. And if you want to use these again, of course you're going to have to put another female end on there. Very simple. You just have to have extra ones of these, and you just solder them onto the little tabs just like that. Pretty simple. Alright, let's apply these lights now. So the way we're going to do this is we are going to start from the bottom and spiral our lights up the stand towards the top. We want the end that connects to our controller at the bottom, and we want the end that we're going to cut off at the top. So we're going to start from the bottom and work our way up. This can be a little tedious and take some time, but don't be afraid to peel the LED light strips off and reapply. The tape is pretty good at sticking back after you've taken it off, so that's not an issue here. What we need to be careful with while doing this is to make sure that the gap in between each layer of the LED light strips is roughly equal and not too large, right? Because if there's too large of a gap, you might be able to see that through the cotton balls. There might be dark spots that ring around up the stand, which would not be great, right? So we want to make sure that we keep that gap small and even all the way up, so you have an even distribution of light as you move up the stand. And this is what it should look like once your LED light strips are strung around the stand. As you can see, they are nicely spaced. I could have done a better job, but they are decently spaced and they go all the way up to the top. Alright, now that our lights are on, we can go to applying the cotton balls. So a few things you're going to need for this. You're going to need some cotton balls. I'm sure you know how to get those. But then what we're going to need is we're going to need a hot glue gun. I found that hot glue is probably the best solution, better than some type of other glue, right? Hot glue is pretty easy to use. So with your hot glue, you're going to just apply a little bit of hot glue onto each cotton ball. And I actually like to stretch out the cotton balls a little bit, right? Like kind of fluff them up, maybe change their shape a little bit. But once you do that, once you get it fluffed up however you like it, then you can apply just a little bit of hot glue to it and just stick it right onto the LED light strip. It won't hurt it. So one thing that I did do is I put cotton balls up into the engines a little bit, not getting hot glue on the engine because again, we want this to be removable. But I just like to put them up into the engine a bit and then just kind of go from there, right? Kind of imagine that there's fire coming out of the engine and it's going down and it's starting to dissipate as it goes down out of the nozzle, right? So just kind of imagine that. Try to make it look organic, like it's flowing out of the engine. And I think that will give you a pretty good look. And you also want to change up the orientation of the cotton balls a little bit, right? You don't want them all going straight down. You want to make some that turn and go sideways, and you want there to be some chaos in there, right? Some variation, because again, this is a rocket engine and it's massive amounts of thrust. While I did this, I looked at some pictures of rocket engines and of the Saturn V itself on liftoff, and I think that really gave me a good idea of, you know, kind of what it should look like, how the flow should be, and things like that. I essentially just went from the engines down, and here is a point where you get to be a little creative. You could try to make yours expand outwards as it goes down, right? As it hits the table, we can expand outwards a lot, or you could just make it a straight column, kind of like what I did. I did have a little bit coming out at the bottom at the table, but you know, you get to do a little bit of what you want to do here. This is the artistic side of this project. I also found that one layer of cotton balls is plenty. You don't really want more because it'll kind of dim it out. It'll make it a little too dim. Alright, that is a finished Lego Saturn V light up stand. And as you can see, it looks pretty cool. I'd like to thank you for watching the video, and remember, all the links to the products and to my file for the stand are down in the description. Thank you for watching. This was the Everyday Engineer. Enjoy this little bit of music at the end.